Shalom, la bachayayim shal yashala, peace be to the elect of the nation of Israel, which the elect of the nation of Israel consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those who are a part of that lot being of the stock of Israel and also of the 1/3, which consists of the 144,000 Hanabayayim, the prophets, which will speak the words of prophecy. In this time, of course, being woken up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to fulfill the lot, and waking up the rest also of the rest of the elect, which is a part of that 1/3 number, which consists of men, women, and children, which are just believers. They're not prophets, in which they will believe in the words which is written in the scriptures, and will receive that the Wah, which is that mark of exemption, which the prophets have as well, which was given to them before the foundation of the earth, given, of course, to them by Yahweh the Most High, and of course us being given, Lord willing, to Yahweh Shai, and through Yahweh Shai, who the Lord calls Jesus Christ, his true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, we have salvation. Of course, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who were well. Shinikabad la shalayachim nawa was a konim nawa shalia sha'ala. Godwala rakab aith, which I just said double honors to our apostles and our elders of Israel, which are at Great Millstone. Godwala rakab ba'aith in the times. And of course, I want to give a peace and salutation, Shalom Chasad, La Bachayarium Shal Yashala, to the election of the nation of Israel. And of course, also, peace and mercy to those Akim that are out there in this particular area, which is the Bay Area, which may have to experience some of the different outages of the power, which is underway, I believe. So we're gonna get in this wee story, which originally I seen it off of some other articles, and then I just pulled up after doing a wee bit of more research and just reading through the spirit. I seen this article first, which says millions across California brace for more planned power outages that could last days as state wildfire risk remains high. And it says here, more than 1 million of the Golden State residents may have to deal with their power being cut on Wednesday in order to help mitigate the chance of a wildfire, according to the public utility officials in Northern and Southern California. The majority of the outages are planned in Northern and Central California, but Southern California, Edison, says on this website, almost 174,000 customers in counties including Los Angeles, Riverside, Orange, and San Bernardino, and Ventura could all be under the umbrella of planned outages on Wednesday. So it's currently right now Wednesday in October, I believe the 9th year of Kragma being the chip, the mark of the beast, and we see all of these different occurrences of bringing forth disruption of power and different other events which will help these global elite in bringing in their new world order. And they, of course, do these different things as various tests, and of course also just to bring forth chaos and pandemonium. Many of these people, if you know, are absolutely crazy. Okay, which, I mean, they are crazy. Esau Edom is a vile, wicked man. Okay, Esau, Edom, the wicked. And it's very sinister because when you go into it, I believe it's reported that these so-called wildfires are actually started by Esau, Edom with this particular company. When you go into it, which is what PG&E, which is Pacific Gas and Electric. So it says, meanwhile, Pacific Gas and Electric has shut off power to more than 500,000 customers in California, in its biggest planned shut off in the state's history. So this isn't something that is or has occurred before. This is something that actually has made history, and we are, of course, in very historic times, and when you're going to see things that you haven't seen before. Okay, the amount of Mawath, which is deaths, Mawathium, deaths and destruction, which Yahweh Shemashai is going to bring to Great Babylon, which is America, and of course bring to the rest of this world, is going to be beyond what any have seen before. It's written in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter. Now, we're going to continue to read, and it says, the utility said Wednesday it will gradually turn off electricity to nearly 800,000 customers. That's about 1 million people. Customers to prevent its equipment from starting wildfires during hot, windy weather. All right, and this is what they're saying. They're claiming it's, windy weather and such. It says a second group, about 234,000 customers, will lose its power starting at noon. The utility says it's considering turning off power to another 4,200 customers in the area that serves Southern SoCal. It says it will determine a time and a specific location later Wednesday. So, that's the current news there with this, and a lot of this wasn't given as a major notice. It was given on short notice, and some people just are completely unawares. It's reported, and of course it's going to cause much chaos. I must note, Defo is going to do so. Alright, so again, I'm going to start with this precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which these different occurrences will happen, these tokens and signs which Yahweh told us, it says, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world in which he made. And of course, when you read on, it says, therefore, when many shall be seen earthquakes, uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High speak of these things from the days that were before thee, and even from the beginning. For as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings, and the wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. You're gonna see a lot of course, effects and signs when, of course, the Lord really brings forth the full fruition of Jacob's trouble, in which you so-called niggas, Latinos, and the Americans, you Israelite foreigners, those who've been, of course, scattered and, of course, went astray from your heritage, may look like the heathen where you've been scattered to, and, of course, completely have took upon the heathen ways, a lot of you that go back, of course, to the 12 tribes of Israel, you're going to be tried. And if you're not a part of that elect number, you're going to be destroyed, okay? Because the Lord has these various calamities to, of course, bring forth for his amendments and such, okay? Let's see, yeah. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai isn't happy with what's been going on. He's angry with the wicked every day. Alright, that being Esau Edom. And of course you have 2/3 as well, which are just absolutely out of order. Alright, where they don't, of course, not at all trust in, of course, Yahweh Shema Shai. Alright, even in the time in which he's stretching forth his hand, people, of course, of the stock of Israel are still batting it away. Alright, this is the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 2, or chapter 8, and actually 1. It says, "And he answered me, saying, The Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few." Alright, the Lord made this, of course, to be enjoyed. Alright, the world to be enjoyed, but of course it's being destroyed by the wicked. Of course, the earth will abide forever, despite the fact that the world that is what we're currently in, which is the rulership of Esau Edom, the wicked, is gonna go out, and the world that is, of course, to come, which is Jacob, starting with, of course, our Lord Yahweh Shai. Of course, you have underneath Yahweh Shai, you have the 12. Okay, you have, of course, King David, and the rest of the Bayat the house of David, the election, okay, the governing body, and of course the rest of the 1/3, and of course the rest of Israel. All right, it's gonna be a magnificent kingdom I will on forever. Okay, where we don't have to deal with stuff such as power outages and such. But anyway, reading on, it says, "I will tell thee of similar to Esdras, which the prophet, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world." It says, "There be many created, but a few saved." And, a part of these different prophecies that is going to happen, where you're going to have these widespread famines. Of course, you're going to have martial law being declared. You're going to have Esau Edom coming down as a sword with his various pestilence and other things, biological warfare. Okay, there's going to be beasts and apparitions, strange beasts that change their places, new created beasts and such. Okay, there's going to be mass judgment. That's why we know that, as the scripture says, that the righteous shall be scarcely saved. Okay, we understand that it has to be a remnant that's going to be delivered. Okay, and we understand it through the precept. Okay, because the Lord is not going to bring an utter end to, of course, the house of Israel. He always leaves a remnant. Okay, in times, of course, he flooded the world with water, which happened via back in the times of Noah. He, of course, saved Noah and his 3 sons and their 3 wives. Noah and his wife, of course, 8 souls. This place is going to go via nuclear fire. And, of course, fire from the chariots, with this Edomites call you fools. Okay? But, of course, it's, important that you take heed of what is being told unto you. you Israelites, because it may be, if you can have ears to hear, you can be a part. You can most likely be part of that elect number. Okay, if the Lord deems that fit for you to be, of course, woken up, coming to this magnificent truth, and repent. Okay, from your sins which you commit daily, which we commit daily. So it says here in the next article, which is the Sacramento Bee, which has a lot of different articles, which it says frustration in foothills, resources limited in the El Dorado and Placer continues, areas swept up in massive shutdown. And you see that, look at this picture. It has he may be an Edomite or Jake. David Rolt charged his oxygen concentrator at the PGE Resource Center at the Gold Country Fairgrounds in Auburn on Wednesday, and the charge is good for 7 hours, but after that he doesn't know what he'll do. And the thing is about this particular power outage, I believe it's reported that it may last longer than a week. It's they shutting it off and then they're gonna restore it, but that them dates, I believe, is pretty much in question. And I'm gonna get a preset because you have it where many run to the government for everything, which our people, they of course don't seek after their own power, which is Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay, so when the Lord brings this judgment, because the Lord can take away your security, visit you, and of course destroy you. Okay, from that, from you, of course, not being understanding, meaning obedient, in what Yahweh Shem Shai has for the children of Israel, those who are refusing and want to continue to rebel. Okay, so I'm going to get a precept, which I'm going to look in the book of Jeremiah real quick and see if I can find a precept real quick. And reading through it today. I'm going to read this one. This is the book of Jeremiah 17:11. It says, as the partridge sitteth on eggs and hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches and not by right, and that's Esau Edom, you get riches, and obviously he does what? He does everything by, of course, robbing, stealing, and murder. Okay, he covets everything, his desires is hell. Alright, it says, shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. And Esau is basically being made a fool. As you can see, all of his plans are being exposed by the Lord, of course, with his prophets. Okay, and of course, even of his own stock of his people. His own tongue is fallen upon himself. Okay, where we know these day things, of course, are being orchestrated only for their bringing to of their newer order. Okay, which I'm going to bring out this other precept. This is the book of Micah. And then I'm going to get some other precepts too. Micah 1. I'm just going to the spirit pretty much. Micah chapter probably chapter 2. And 1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. And that's the Edomites, the elite of you. Alright, and elite of the house of Israel, of Sakia, of the house of of Edom, okay, the wicked, all right, which they are the wicked. The Edomites are the wicked. They, of course, devise. When you go into it, devise means to think. Okay, you have it chashav, which in Hebrew means to think, all right, or plan or invent. Okay, that's what they do. They invent these different plans, all right, which this cutting down outpours and stuff like that, control power outages and stuff. This is gonna bring forth a disruption of ability for many people to be able to use those certain utilities in which they are normally accustomed to use, which that would be such as anything that has anything to do with power, okay, charging your phones, internet, of course, even primarily your fridge, or unless you have some sort of alternative means of energy, solar powered batteries and such, or gas powered generators, or whatever other means, you're gonna be pretty much stuck, you know, in your with your hopes. And if it ain't in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, you're gonna seek and run right to them, the Edomites. Which the Edomites, they just, of course, are just looking to destroy you, destroy the people, cut down the population, cut down, of course, the children of Israel. All right. Because it says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. You know, because they, of course, the earth is given the hand of the wicked. And of course, you know, we know that the wicked, they can't go, I believe it's written in the book of Psalms, they can't go, you know, a day without doing evil, something of that nature. It tells you in the book of Psalms about, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I got it. I believe I read something of that nature though before, but I'm gonna continue on. You know, Slakia. You know, I'll find a precept and bring it in another lesson. Or if Yahweh Shem Yahshua gives it, I'll bring it back out. Yeah, so it says here, and they covet fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughty, for the time is evil. Alright? That's basically it, what I'm bringing out on that one. I'll bring out some other precepts. Okay? And read some more of this actual article. So I'm going to start to read the article some more, so you get some more bits. So actually the article is a video, you know, so I'm going to just click through and see whatever else you have. It that it says here, stay indoors. California health officials warn of dusty winds amid power shutoff. Alright, so they want you to stay indoors. As engineered power shutoffs persists, engineered, right? Which I believe engineer goes into building. You know, they of course created this, okay, this problem. They of course want to bring their solutions, or out of chaos, as the elders and apostles always say. It says here, persists Wednesday amid increasingly gusty winds across California. Air quality officials warned of worsened air quality conditions from dust and debris being kicked up. All right, so because of this, and we know Esau Edom has ability to manipulate different weather with the harp. And it says stay indoors if possible. Officials said health cautionary statement that was carried by the National Weather Service. Avoid prolonged and strenuous outdoor physical activities to reduce effects of unhealthy air. All right. It had watched the businesses in Wesley prepare for power outages. Sorry, we are closed until electricity come back. You have many people are gonna suffer business-wise because many people rely upon electronic payments, and you don't have, of course, electricity or power access to run various machines. You're pretty much going back 100. You're going back 1,000. You're going back to the manual old days and such, where things are done manually and such. Okay, using a cash register analog. Okay, with cash. Okay, so there's a lot of red flags are coming up with this power outage, which is gonna bring forth definitely deaths. It's gonna definitely bring deaths. It says PGE employee shot at a head of utility, massive Northern California power shut off. So it says here that ahead of the Pacific Gas and Electric Co. unprecedented decision to cut the power of at least 500,000 customers and possibly more, one of his workers was shot at while driving on an interstate in 5 in Colusa County on Tuesday evening. So before this happened, they've had people shoot a person shot a worker and such. It says in the press release, the California Highway Patrol said that the PGE employee was marked in a PGE pickup truck driving southbound on the highway south of the Lehan Road a bit before 8 p.m. when the passenger side window was shattered. It says responding CHP officers determined that the bullet had struck the vehicle, but the employee was uninjured. Another vehicle was driving near a pickup truck at the time of the shooting. All right, so it says as many as 2 million people could be plunged into darkness before the end of Wednesday. So you see all these different numbers. Esau is not even clear with what numbers he published. He published so many different numbers, and also always expect it to be worse than what he actually projects. 2 million people, right, without power. It says was necessary to prevent deadly wildfires. All right. Well, as you go into the whole thing, it was shown that they actually started it. All right. But anyway, that's another thing for another time. Amid windy conditions, the utility was responsible for last year's deadly campfire after its power lines sparked. Its power lines sparked the state's worst wildfire, which killed 85 people, which this is, of course, downplayed. It's worse how many people died, and destroyed thousands of homes in Butler County. It says the safety of our customers and employees is our primary responsibility. We know that turning off the power for safety is unpopular with some, but needed for public safety. All right, well, if you got people already shooting at employees, okay, with the power outage didn't happen, what do you think is going to happen when the actual power is shut? Because it should be shut. A lot of it should be shut down already. It escalates through time, day after day. All right, it's just going to get more severe and severe. And of course, with people being deprived of these various, um, means of powering things and comforts, they're gonna go crazy. All right, you have it where, here, some people stocked up on water and such. I believe it's another story that says that they cut off water. Let me see, in certain places. I gotta see if I can pull it up. It says here, water services in Vassonville may be affected by the PGE power outage. PG&E. Okay, so it says here thousands of PG&E customers are preparing after Pacific Gas and Electric announcing that they will be turned off the power in 34 counties on early Wednesday. These shut-off will affect various neighborhoods and potentially causing issues with city water services. The City of Vassaville Utilities Department has been taking measures and will make as much available water to customers during the shut-off. They urge residents to conserve water in case of the shut-offs last for longer than a few days. It says the city and they give basic ways they can, conserve water and such, little tips and stuff. All right, but I mean, this is just nothing but a trial run. I mean, shoot. Yeah, let's get some scriptures. And I'm gonna get the book of Psalms 52, which in the Hebrew is the Holium. That is, I always get it mixed up. The Holium. Psalms 52, which means songs, I believe. So it says, to the chief musician Michelle, a psalm of Dawadah, when Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul and said unto him, David is come into the house of Abimelech, or Ahimelech. Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of the power endureth continually. Thy tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Salah. And that's all in the works of these Edomites, okay, who has nothing but a plan to destroy and bring famine to this place, okay. You may, of course, have had prepped, like a lot of the preppers. You have some people that prep some things, and then, you can have in the midst of this whole event, all hell break loose, and then, of course, your stuff gets seized, okay? Because there's a certain amount of goods you can store up in the laws here. And regardless, you're going to have, there's going to be different forms of looting and such, as when you see people are deprived of these different things, okay? Like when you see the national emergency, such as the Hurricane Katrina with the whole FEMA thing, okay? It says, thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. It says, the Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever, and he shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place. Which you have, these Edomites are all over the world, but this is Babylon, okay. It says, and root thee out of the land of the living. And the Lord's going to take these Edomites, whom claim the heritage of the Israelites, out of out of the land of Israel. Alright, with that whole Balfour Declaration, they placed themselves over there and took the land, alright, parted it and such. It says, the righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. It says, "Lo, this is the man that made not the power his strength, but trusteth in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness." And that's what these Edomites do. All right, they trust in themselves. The Lord is not even in their thoughts at all. Okay, they're atheists. They don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They believe that, their whole setup is going to continue once per generation unto generation, as you read in Psalms 49 and 11, which it reads, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, and they shall call their lands after their own names." Okay. So, the Bible speaks of these things, all right? All the things that are happening in the world is all prophesied in the Bible. Okay, the Lord is going to plague Egypt as he did, basically ancient Egypt, okay, which this is new Egypt now, okay. You read these different precepts in the book of Edges, some of these precepts that I'm quoting. It says here, this is Ezra, second Ezra chapter 15:5, and it says, "Behold, said Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For their wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." Okay, therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth up unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. That's the men of the Lord. We are complaining about the different hell, which is a low state. We have to continue to endure being oppressed here, okay, wherever we've been scattered to, in Babylon or wherever we've been scattered to. It says, "And therefore said the Lord, I will avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people are as led as flock to the slaughter." Or a lot of our people are literally as a flock to the slaughter, because when you see it, our people they don't even know what's going on, okay? Where you have it where they're just going to be destroyed, simply there, being caught unawares and such, okay? Esau, the big bad wolf, pretty much is, he cutting off lights, it's going to come and just eat you, all right, devour you by whatever matter or calamity he is bringing, whether he starve you out, have you seek unto him, of course, all different type of chaos is going to break loose from this, It says, them now that dwell, it says, I will not suffer them now that to dwell in the land of Egypt. All right. So, the Lord, of course, is going to deliver his elect. We know. All right. And we know that, if you read verse of Ezra, a lot of different calamities are going to happen with the uprisings of the people, uproars, different, of course, spoiling of the goods, lack of bread, great tribulation. All that's written here in the scriptures here, which is happening in these last times. It will happen at the greatest level, okay, ever. All right, so basically that's my lesson for now. I mean, I could go on Wisdom of Solomon. I believe in Wisdom of Solomon. And like 17 and 18 chapter, it does talk about the different things when the Lord back in ancient Egypt plagued it with darkness, the different apparitions and such. Like it says here, this Wisdom Child 17 and 5. And it says here, no pillar of fire might give them light, neither could the bright flame of the stars endure to light in that horrible night. You know, you're going to have it when the day of the Lord comes, the Lord completely cuts everything, then you ain't going to have no light for many people. Even people going to literally die from the nightmares, which you're going to see these different demons and spirits, which the Lord's going to unleash. Okay? So this stuff is all prophesied to happen. Okay? It's going to be a very fearful thing. You know, as it's written that it's it was a terrible thing to fall into the living power, the hands of living power, roughly paraphrasing. So, as it says, for great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed, therefore unnurtured souls have erred. Alright? You know, so I'm gonna just wanted to, do this lesson as a watchman of Yahweh Shem Shai. Hopefully you're edified and warned and pray for the Akim that are out there that have to experience, this these different outage, all right, across Northern California, different places in California. All right, because it easily can escalate into a very destructive situation. With that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. And, of course, double honor sales and pass that great millstone who will well. Shalom.